Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video. It is going to be a good old-fashioned chopping block video, and I have a number of products laid out in front of me that as I was going through and filming my makeup inventory series, these products really stuck out as I don't necessarily know that I want to keep these in my collection through my declutter at the end of the year, but I'm not sure. I'm not currently like in the mindset to make a decision either way. Like I could take it or I could leave it. So I want to focus on getting some use out of these products so I can really wrap my mind around whether or not I feel like they serve a purpose in my makeup collection or whether or not it's time to pass these along. I don't have a full face of makeup. I have quite a few bronzers. I have one blush. I have quite a few highlights. My air just came on. Some lip products and one single eyeshadow, and that's really it. But nevertheless, I figured it'd be fun to film this video. I'm gonna turn, oh, is it going off for me? Perfect. Nevertheless, I figured it'd be fun to film this video. I will focus on these products and then I'll come back to do like a makeup purgatory decluttering style video and let you know my final thoughts on these products. So if you're interested, stay tuned. First, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel and you like the occasional project pan video, if you like palette themed content, or just hanging out and chit chatting about makeup, that is what we do over on this channel, and I hope you'll consider subscribing before moving on. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment down below, or do anything else the YouTube algorithm loves for you to do. I would really appreciate it, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, I'm making a game time decision and changing my mind, and I actually do have two foundations on the chopping block. So I was just kind of thinking about my Lancome Tenti Doll, and I definitely do need to pull this into a Shop My Stash. I actually plan to film a Shop My Stash today and post it before you see this video, so you'll likely have already seen this pulled into a Shop My Stash. But this is a foundation that I was so excited when I first purchased it, and it just didn't end up being everything that I wanted it to be. I haven't found it in my heart to really declutter this product, but it is getting older in my collection, and I honestly feel like I either need to just use it, or I looked at the expiration and I'm like, oh, it expired May of 2024. So it's past it. I mean, makeup we can use depending on how you use it as long as you want. I am perfectly fine using makeup past its expiration. This has SPF in it, so I'm assuming that I'm not counting on this for the SPF, but I have not noticed adverse reactions times that I put this on my face past May of last year, and I definitely have worn it. Anyway, I'm just going off. I need to either use this or it needs to get decluttered, so this is something that I am going to put on the chopping block. And then the other thing that I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this on the chopping block. It's by Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Moisturizer. So they sent this to me earlier this year, and actually recently they sent me another shade as well. And this is just something that it isn't my current favorite tinted moisturizer. I love my Supergoop Protect Tint, and I've been really into the Milk Hydra Grip. So do I really need all these tinted moisturizer? Like, is this actually gonna get used? That's what I wanna know. So I'm gonna pull this out, put it on the chopping block. And because this is newer, if I decide that I don't need it in my collection, then I can pass this along to someone who will get use out of it before it expires. Okay, I don't currently have any primers or concealers that are on the chopping block. For powders, I am gonna put my What's Up Beauty powders on the chopping block, not because I don't like these, but kind of for the same reason I'm putting the Bare Minerals on the chopping block. I love my Kosas Cloud Set powder for a pressed setting powder. I just love that powder. And so I just, every day that I'm setting my face would I always want to be reaching for my Kosas Cloud Set. So I don't necessarily know that it makes sense for me to keep 2 additional pressed powders. I also have my Bare Minerals pressed face powder foundation. Like, does it make sense? I'm gonna pull these out, I'm gonna focus on them, I'm gonna get use out of them and see. I actually did recently hit a pan on my Kosas powder, and I keep saying I want that powder to last me through the Sephora VIB sale when I can repurchase. So honestly, maybe it'll be a good time to pull out some other powders, see how I'm feeling about them, see if I feel like they're a good alternative in the meantime to my Kosas Cloud Set, or if I truly just want my Kosas Cloud Set as my one and only pressed setting powder. All right, bronzer is where we've got a lot. Bronzer we have a lot. Clearly, the bronzer that's on my face today, it's actually the Victoria Beckham bronzing brick. It's too orange for me, and I am going to end up decluttering this one at the end of the year. I put it on today and I was like, girl, it looks like we were eating Cheetos while we did our makeup, and then we just blended out with the Cheetos. We can't have this. So that one, no need to put on the chopping block. It's been chopped, which is such a bummer. And then I went on to the Victoria Beckham website. Tell me why I feel like I bought that bronzer for $55 and it's 72 doll hairs now. $72. I was like, maybe I'll buy it in my right shade. Maybe I will. And then I was like, $72? No, we're just gonna pass it along. We don't need to buy it. We have our Dior bronzer that we love. Okay, moving on. Anyway, okay, the bronzers that are on the chopping block. I have my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Dune. This is a liquid bronzer. Not always gonna be my first reach. Definitely a more sheer product, and not necessarily one of the bronzing products like the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt that I feel like I can use all over my face as like a glowy bronzer. This I don't think is going to work for me like that, so I'm either going to use it as like a targeted bronzer or I need to pass this along. I just don't reach for a liquid bronzer, so that's why that one's on the chopping block. Okay, then I have my NYX Buttermelt bronzer, which I really loved last year, but this is just more pigmented than I feel like I need in my life. I am decluttering the shade 3 for sure. That one I swatched and I was like, how did I think this ever worked for me? This one's gotta go. But then I swatched shade 2 and I was like, actually I feel like this one could be a really beautiful bronzer. And I loved these last year. I loved it so much I bought a second shade. So I want to pull this one back out. It's been a little bit since I've actually used this on my face rather than just swatched it. And I want to see if this is something that perhaps I want to keep this shade in my collection, or perhaps it just is not the best suited bronzer to me anymore. Then I also have the What's Up Beauty I have this bronzer. This bronzer, I currently pulled out the shade 2 medium. I also have the lighter of the two shades. I wanted to pull medium out because I do really like the lighter one for the winter time. However, I'm not sure, like, is this something I want to keep in my collection, or would I just rather reach for my Dior bronzer 10 times out of 10 over this one? I don't know. We're gonna find out, and we're gonna see if this still serves a purpose in my collection. And then speaking of Dior bronzers, I have the new Dior bronzer, and so I'm like, do I really need my old Dior Forever natural bronzer? This one is in the shade 4 Tan Bronze. And looking at this now, this just looks more like a contour to me. I definitely clearly crave something more warm when it comes to bronzer these days. And so I just don't know. I think the issue I have with this is I have worked on this quite a bit. And I have that kind of panner's mentality around this, that like I've committed a lot of myself to this product. So I don't just want to give up on it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like, could I finish this off? I don't know. And I feel like I've never thought of this as looking contoury on my skin when I have used it. So I want to pull it back out and just see if maybe it just looks darker in the pan to me. Maybe I've just been reaching for warmer bronzers, so this just looks so ashy to me at the moment. But I don't want to just declutter this. I want to pull it back out, get some use on it, and then make a decision. The one and only blush that I am putting in the chopping block is this one from Patrick Ta. It's in the shade Do We Know Her, one of my older Patrick Ta blush duos. I do have one that's quite similar to this now. I forget what it's called. Maybe She's the Moment? Might be. And so I'm like, do I need both? Do I really need both? I also just despise Patrick Ta as a human being personally. So I'm like, ugh. I mean, I'm not gonna go declutter every single blush duo because I really do like the blush duos. But this is one, especially because my daughter's been asking about possibly taking a Patrick Ta blush duo off of my hands. So perhaps I could just pass this along to her. I think this one will end up getting passed along to her because it's always just a good feeling just knowing like we're sharing and we're caring. So it just makes it easier for me to declutter if I know like, okay, my daughter's gonna play with this and she's gonna have a grand old time. Moving on to highlight, I have a lot of highlight. So I have the Burt's Bees The Luminizer. I really liked this when I first got it, but I definitely love my Dior The Luminizer a little bit better now. To me, that one's just a little bit easier to use. So I'm like, do I really need both? Both are pink liquid highlights. We'll see. Then I have this one from Ritual Defy, which my sister actually gave to me. It is in the shade Solar Flare, and I literally just never reach for this, literally ever. I think it intimidates me because it just looks so intense. But I also have been enjoying a more intense highlight, and I feel like I could really love this. So I want to encourage myself to get use out of this before I declutter it, because My rose ink highlight, when I started using that consistently, I fell in love with that. So we're gonna see about that. Then I have my Say Glow Sculpt in the shade Pink Glow. This product, it doesn't really work for me as a highlight because it's a little too dark as a targeted highlight, but then it's like this very metallic glowy product, so I don't really feel like it works as like a blush or a blush topper because it is a cream product. So I just honestly feel like I need to let go of this. Like I feel like ultimately this just doesn't, like this shade just doesn't work for me, but I'm struggling to let it go because I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I just am struggling to come to terms with the fact that this just may not serve a purpose in my makeup collection. I'm gonna put it on the chopping block. I'm gonna see if I can find a way that I like to use this. Maybe, maybe not, and we'll see. And then finally for, nope, not finally yet, couple more highlights. I have the What's Up Beauty highlight. This is in Safari Sunset. I think this is beautiful. It's just never my like go-to reach for a highlight. And so the pink part of this highlight kind of has like a pink gold shift to it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to capture it the best on camera. Like it definitely is almost like a duochrome highlight, but it is really pretty. And then there is the more like golden champagne peachy shadow, or not shadow, highlight. Okay, actually that's so pretty. Actually that is so pretty. I think I just need to pull this out and actually get some use out of it. It's just been neglected, so maybe this one won't ultimately get chopped. Maybe this will be one of the things that gets saved. Regardless, I'm gonna pull this out and kind of get my thoughts around that one again. All right, then I grabbed both of my Merit highlights. I have the shade Citrine and the shade Bounce. I just am not a stick cream product type of a girl. Citrine, I don't know. I should wipe my hand off. Oh, there is a wipe in front of me. I thought I was gonna have to get up. Okay, we have Citrine, and these are pretty sheer. They're Citrine. I mean, that is so pretty. I just never reach for it. That is actually so pretty though. That's like got a pretty sheer base, so it does just look so wet. Maybe I just need to reach for these when I'm going for my walks or something. And then there's Bounce right below it, which is definitely more of like a pink toned, a little bit cooler. Okay, those are so pretty though. Well, maybe with a little bit of focus, these will end up staying, but I literally never reach for these. So I don't want them just like sit pretty in my collection, never getting love. Like maybe someone else would love them more. All right, then I have my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. This is another product where it's like that panner in me like knows I could work on this and complete this. I don't really love the highlight. Like I feel like the only part of this that I would really finish is the bronzer or the contour technically. I don't have any motivation to reach for this anymore. I don't know why. This used to be like such a coveted product, and now I'm just like maybe I would depot this and use this like depotted, but as of this moment, I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, a few lip products I have from Give Them Lala Beauty, which I don't even know if Give Them Lala is still a beauty brand. I have the Trippin' Gloss Hydra Gloss. Oops. I'm like, should I feel like, no. I feel like this would just be such an easy product to use up, but I just like haven't put forth effort into it. It's not like an uncomfortable product at all. I just never think to reach for this. And lip gloss, I really struggle to get rid of because I'm like, unless it's so gloopy and so bad, it's kind of like primer in a sense of like, I feel like I can make it work for me. So I really struggle to declutter lip glosses. So I have that. Then I also have my Tarte Maracuja Lip Plump. I have mine in the shade Poppy, which is kind of like a peachy pink sort of shade. I just never reach for this. Although I have been, not that I feel like it necessarily is exactly like what I have on my lips today, I have been liking a more colorful lip, so maybe I could get some good use out of it. I would hate to declutter it. I definitely won't purchase any more of these unless there was like a shade I just couldn't pass over, but I'm never really looking to Tarte to buy makeup products, so I either want to use this up or just pass that one along. I just never ever reach for that. This I probably should just throw in the trash. When was the last time Milk Makeup made lip products? Still smells like nothing. This is the Milk Makeup lipstick in the shade Cream. It's a really beautiful pinky nude. And I really do like it. I never reach for lipsticks. I gotta make, it's gonna be okay if we have to throw this out. It's gonna be okay. We'll see. I'm gonna see if I can get myself to use that though. And then finally, I have my 2 remaining Kaja Love Swipes. I think because of the packaging, this is just not something like I bring to work with me. However, both shades that I have, so I have the shade 2 Sweet Softy. I mean, both shades, there's shade 2 Sweet Softy. Both shades are really pretty. Maybe I just need to like, well, if they're on the chopping block, hopefully they'll be front and center pulled to actually focus on. I have been liking more color on the lips, and this does give a really nice kind of stain to the lips. This is in the shade 5, I'm Melting right there. That's really pretty as well. I don't know, I literally never reach for these, so it's like, do I need to keep them around? Where can they go? And then the final product that I have is a Moon Dust shadow. This is the Urban Decay Moon Dust in Lithium. I just never reach for single shadows. Just never do. Especially a single shadow that's like in its own component. There it is, swatched right there. It is very, very beautiful. Just like a nice taupe with like glitter running throughout. I don't know if it's like a gold or a green or a silver glitter, but it's a beautiful shade. But it doesn't make sense to keep it if I'm literally never reaching for it, and I could not. I'm sure it's been probably years since I've reached for this. So those are all the products that are currently on my chopping block. I would love to know if you have any current makeup products on your chopping block. What are you thinking about decluttering? Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.